Morning. So I want to teach you guys something and share something that my mentor was sharing with me. So I was talking about how, a lot of times gym owners and business owners in general who have never done paid advertising typically underestimate the amount of work it takes to turn leads into clients. Now, a lot of people are accustomed to warm referrals or people reaching out to them that aren't through cold advertising. And one of the key differences is with cold advertising, meaning social media, you put an advertisement up, people respond to it. The reality is other people, other gym owners, other businesses, other HVAC companies, other dentists, other chiropractors, etc., are also using very similar strategies to acquire new customers. And so if you think about it, if you're a chiropractor and another chiropractor is using similar strategies to get more customers, if someone puts their information in, name, email, phone number, into an advertisement, they're probably going to put it in similar advertisements as well. So if I'm a chiropractor and I'm putting an advertisement out, you need to realize that when they put their information in, you are paying for that lead's contact details. But that also means that particular lead is putting their information into other people's advertisement. Then it becomes a bit of a race. Either you are going to reach out and get in touch with them, or your competitors are going to reach out and get to them. Then it becomes a race to who gets in touch with them first. And usually the one who is going to get them on the phone, book that appointment, is the one who has a really well-developed outreach system. And so if you're like, I called them once and they're busy. You're like, what time did you call them? 7 a.m. Who's going to answer at 7 a.m? Let's say you called them at lunch and they don't pick up. And they're like, well, what if they were busy at lunch? What if you called them at 5 and then they picked up? And you're like, oh, this particular person was available at that particular time. So, guess what? The business with a more developed outreach system is more persistent and more aggressive, is going to get that person on the phone. And it's not about them not being interested. They gave you their contact information. However, a cold lead and answering an advertisement is literally someone who has shown a little bit of interest, but then it's the business's responsibility to get in touch. Now, is that going to take one call? You're going to talk to them and then you're going to close them? No, that's definitely not how this is going to work. But what you will need to do is approach this with a more open mindset and think about it like this. And this is something I was thinking about the other day, which is, let's say, for example, you have like 30 to 40 clients and you're getting 1 to 2 referrals a month. You might lose one here or there, you get 1 or 2, but you're pretty much at 40 clients a month for the last 6 to 12 months. Cool, not bad. But then if you said, hey, my goal is to get to 100, you got to ask yourself, one, are my current methods of getting there going to be working, or do I need something else to kind of top up my current lead flow? You're going to need something to top up your current lead flow, because referrals is not going to grow a business to like 200 clients. Okay, that's number one. You're going to need more. They call them marketing poles in the water, meaning if you're on a boat and you're in the middle of the ocean, if you have one fishing pole in the water. If you had more, you would catch more fish. So what could these be? It could be referrals. It could be networking with local businesses that are in the same kind of industry, like massage, chiropractic, physical therapy, beauty, hair salons. Third is you do speaking events or you host events where people have an opportunity to hear you speak. And so you have these different avenues of getting clients. So I've tried them all. And you have to have a lot of time and you have to have a lot of patience in order to be juggling all these different marketing poles to get more customers into your gym to sustain like hundreds of clients a month. But the one that will rule them all, that you can control, is advertising. That's massive, because if you can control your advertising, you can literally say, okay, I want 1,000 people to see it, I want 5,000 people to see it, I want 10,000 people to see it, and the more money I put, the more people that see it, the more people that see it, the more leads I get, the more leads I get, the more phone calls I need to make, the more phone calls I make, the more booked appointments I have, the more booked appointments I have, the more people that show up, the more people that show up, the more people I close. However, if you underestimate the work that needs to be done, if you think it's going to be easy, and if you expect people to just roll over and come in and buy your services, you are literally setting yourself up for failure. And so I look at this as a way for a gym that could double, triple, quadruple its membership, but at the same time, it's not like, if you want to double, it's not going to take double the work. If you want to double, it's going to take 5 times the work. But think about that. Think about it like, if you do not, and I look at this like this. It's a different approach. These are different kind of leads, and it requires a different process. And it requires a bit of a different level of understanding. But once you put all these pieces together, you realize like, oh, this is easy. You know, like, for example, if someone wants to get in shape and you know what to do, you just do the work. It's easy. But if you underestimate the amount of work, you're like, oh man, this is hard. You're like, yeah, all I need to do is eat enough protein, eat enough calories, train 3 to 4 times a week, progressively overload, and rest. That's it. Some people realize like, oh, that's hard. They're like, well, if I just do those things, then I get it. Oh, that's easy. Once you realize how hard it is, then it becomes easy. But if you think it's going to be easy, then your expectation, you're like, oh, this is a lot more work, this is hard. You're like, no, it's not. It's actually very easy to like grow your gym. The hard part is actually getting yourself and the system built and developed. That's the hard part. But once you have it, it becomes easy. So hopefully this helps. Other than that, peace.